on campus college football video. It's week 1 in college football, and we're taking a look at a variety of games here. We have a new guest. It's Ian Cameron, Appa Battle on Twitter, one of our old friends here on the show and on the channel. We're going to take a look at a few games today. Ian, how you doing, bro?
It couldn't be better, big man. College football is back. How can you be anything but happy and excited?
It's the best time of the year, isn't it? You know, I was
Absolutely.
driving around the other night, and there was a little coolness in the air around here, around these parts, and I smelled my first fire burning. I don't know if it was in someone's house or a bonfire, but it sure smelled real good. Leaves will be rustling here soon. Pumpkins will be out, and we'll be talking football. But we're talking football right now. We're taking a look at a couple Saturday games. We're doing this on Thursday, the day college football starts. We're taking a look, first of all, at a Battle of the Carolinas down at Bank of America Stadium, South Carolina and North Carolina. Kakalaki against South Kakalaki here, as you would say. Shout out to PD Pablo. Raise up, North Carolina. Take your shirt off. Whip it around your head just like a helicopter. We remember that one, but we're talking football. Mac Brown is back at UNC, and kind of a strange courtship here, right? I mean, Mac Brown's been on TV. He's older. He's kind of almost, in a way, you thought maybe he moved on. No, he's back, and he's ready to bring a program back that just a couple years ago, Ian had a couple big bowl games they were in. Remember that bowl game against Baylor a couple years ago? Remember Mitch Trubisky? Remember Elijah Hood and that group? This is a team that's had success, but in a tough conference with obviously Clemson. There's still room, though, that they can be a viable candidate in the ACC. The problem is this is a young team. It's going to take some time to get their guys in there. They have a freshman quarterback, and they're facing a South Carolina team, I think, with a lot of upside. The problem with South Carolina, and as you know, they have the toughest schedule in the college football ranks. This is a team that's going to face uphill battles, and while they might be a really good team, their record might not indicate that due to just who they're playing. Jake Bentley's a terrific quarterback. The problem with this number, and I have here, is I don't want to bet into bad numbers, Ian. Sometimes with the week 1 college football games, you lose your value if you don't jump on it early. This number at one point was at 7. It's up to 11 in some spots. Is there still value here on South Carolina? They're a good team. I think they win comfortably, but a double-digit number, neutral site. What do you think here, Ian?
That's the question. Have you lost the value? And for North Carolina, there's a lot of moving parts with them coming into this season. We're talking about a brand new schemes on both sides of the football, new head coach in Mac Brown, trying to revitalize a defense that was absolutely hideous last season, horrendous on that side of the football, North Carolina. I'm not sure they're going to be in for any better of a performance here in week 1, first game of a new season with a new scheme and new coordinator here against a South Carolina offense that, if you remember, big man, last year, Jake Bentley and that offense were just plodding along, struggling, really having a tough time putting up points. And then they finally pounded it through Will Muschamp's head. This is one of those head coaches that he's probably a little stubborn, a little set in his ways, used to doing things his way. I'm going to be run-heavy offense. I'm going to be slow-paced, methodical. Well, Brian McClendon, who's his offensive coordinator there, finally said, enough of this. Things aren't working. We're going to speed things up. We're going to go fast. We're going to go up-tempo. From that point on last season, that was a different South Carolina offense. You look at all their numbers across the board. Point production went up. Total yardage went up. Both sides of the ball. They ran the football better. They threw the football better. Jake Bentley looked comfortable in that offense. And South Carolina's offense really took off from the midway part of the season onward. They're going to stick to that same script because it worked in the second half of last season. They're going to go fast. And I think they're going to be a handful here for this North Carolina defense. On the flip side, though, South Carolina's defense, I think, will be improved this year. It's kind of the reason, though, why I'm not rushing now to lay double digits with them in this game is they're going to have to prove it to me first because their defense was a weak link last year. And say what you will about North Carolina with a new offense and a freshman quarterback and Sam Howell. They're high on this guy. He was a 4-star recruit. He's one of the better quarterbacks that I think North Carolina's recruited here in a long time. So give Mac Brown credit. We've always said about Mac Brown, big man, he's not the greatest X's and O's guy, but he can recruit his ass off. And he's got some good players in there.
Here's my concern with UNC. There's a couple concerns. One of which, when Mac Brown was a coach, I don't know about you, but it's not like his offense was incredibly innovative. I mean, especially towards the end of his career. I mean, he really, I feel like, missed the boat on a lot of things. Yep. The offense just passed him by. He has to be willing, and I think he has to understand what college football is now. It's not what it was 6 or 7 years ago when he was a coach. Also, how does this team approach defensively? Because even under Larry Fedora, when they were going to big-time bowl games with Trubisky and that group, they were horrific defensively. They couldn't stop the run. They had no interest in playing defense at all. Have they taken the next step? And look, at the end of the day, I mean, you lose a guy. Here's a good thing about South Carolina. I still saw them win games last year without Debo Samuel. Debo Samuel went down with an injury, but Rico Dowdy, who's back, Jake Bentley, they're moving the ball. I just can't bring myself, Ian, to bet into bad numbers. This is a number that, to me, is above that key number of even 10. Look, if this was 9.5, I'd say, you know what? I didn't get 7, but I'm still under that 10-point mark. I can still look at this game and say, well, 38, 24 is a winner. If you're 38, 28's a winner. This is a game where you're going to have to win this game comfortably by 2 touchdowns to have a cover here. I just can't do it. There are too many question marks here. I think they'll win. But I wonder, and Donnie and I talked about this last night on our show that we did. Week 1 is about the only week where teams that have no chance to win have excitement. It's the first game of the season. It's the new season. Let's go out and play hard. But neutral site, this game just doesn't do a ton for me. What do you like here? What's your play?
And I was actually just about to say the angle I'm going with here in this game. I will say this about your point first about betting bad numbers in week 1. I'm way more willing to bet into bad numbers in week 1 than, say, week 9 or 10 of the college football season. If there's a 4-point, 5-point move like this in week 10, I'm really scared off betting a bad number. Week 1, I think there's more miscues. There's more things odds makers are overlooking. Let's not forget there's 125 FBS teams. They're not going to be able to catch every little angle, every little fine detail, maybe scheme, coordinators, that kind of thing. And so you might be able to take more advantage and in terms of being able to bet bad numbers and still cash a ticket in week 1 than, say, week 10. But I actually think North Carolina will have some success offensively. And Mac Brown, you talked about how he's not been innovative in the past. He's at least working toward changing it because he brings in Phil Longo as his offensive coordinator here. We remember Phil Longo as Art Briles' disciple at Baylor years ago. He was most recently at Ole Miss working under that staff with Hugh Freeze and Matt Luke there once he took over. And what's Longo known for? Air raid, extreme tempo, throw the ball all over the field type of offense. And that's what you're going to see out of North Carolina. Nothing but quotes from Longo and Brown, OC and head coach, that we're going to go fast, fast, fast. We want to snap this football as fast as possible. So the bottom line here is, and who knows if it's going to work. South Carolina's defense has improved, although I didn't like that defense a whole lot last year. I still think North Carolina is going to have some success offensively. I think South Carolina will put up big numbers against North Carolina. So this leads me to the total here. It's 63 in this game. Chapel Hill, the last I checked, weather's going to be sunny and hot there on Saturday afternoon, or not in Chapel Hill, Charlotte, I should say. It's a Bank of America stadium. It's in a neutral field where the Carolina Panthers play. That's where this game's taking place. Look, you're going to have 2 teams playing fast here. You're not supposed to have a total this low when you have 2 teams playing with the extreme tempo that I expect both South Carolina and North Carolina to play in this football game. Look at South Carolina. They started cashing boatloads of overs late in the season. We know North Carolina's defense is certainly good enough for a lot of overs as well a season ago. 63, a reasonable number. I'm going to go over the total with South Carolina, North Carolina on Saturday and take advantage of this tempo. They were going fast already under Fedora, North Carolina. They look like they want to go even faster now with Brown, the head coach, and Longo, the offensive coordinator there now.
I like it. This is an interesting spot. And I also think with South Carolina, and if this gets into a game where they're obviously having success moving the ball, I mean, this is one of the few opportunities for South Carolina to really showcase and run the score up. I mean, you're really, in looking at these first 2 weeks for South Carolina, is really the calm before the storm. This schedule is unbelievable. I mean, Alabama, at Georgia, Florida, at Tennessee, Appalachian State, who's one of the better mid-major groups, at Texas A&M. You get Clemson to finish out the season. You got to put on a show here. I think they put up 40 in this game. I think that's definitely something I could say. I think this is like to me, I think this is like a 44-24 type of game. I could see something like that. Great stuff, Ian Cameron. As always, we're going to do another video as well. Make sure you look out for that. And as always, please like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you're on in this game Saturday, August 31st. Ian Cameron going with the over 63. And I have to say, does it get the big man stamp of approval? Yeah, it does. I think Mac Brown has to update, and I think he has with Phil Longo. Great Baylor points there. Ian, we'll talk to you on the other video. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, big man.